Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Welcome, dear BBA students at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Chaitanya Studio. So we are back with our related topic, which we have started last time for the subject Human Resource Management. So we were discussing the Block 3 topic, Job Analysis and Job Design. In the earlier discussion, we have briefed about job analysis, the meaning, definition, various factors and process of job analysis. So today we will move down from the topic followed by process of job analysis. Just let me recall you, job analysis is a process where we try to analyze a given job in any organization. So wherein we have to collect data or we have to gather information. Now there are various methods available in order to collect job related information. So today we are going to discuss few important techniques or methods. Let's start discussing them one by one. The first is job performance method. So as the name suggests, we try to pick up an individual who is actually doing that job. At present, the person whosoever he or she is performing that job, we try to discuss and we try to collect data from him or her pertaining to the job, the level of stress they are experiencing, level of difficulties while performing that job, and what level of concentration or focus is being required in order to complete that job successfully. Now there is only one difficulty, that job performance method is not suitable for all the jobs, which means suppose a worker is working on a particular machine and you might have asked him and he might have told you also that what are the precautions and how he is doing, but understood some mental job like the way doctor is diagnosing a particular patient and then he decides to go for a surgery. Now if you ask him that how he has done this, probably doctor might not explain you, or even if he tries to explain, you won't able to understand. So this method is not suitable for each and every type of job. And plus, if certain jobs where so much training and highly skilled kind of jobs are there, so wherein other people, those who are thinking to just ask the performer, but they cannot get the job done. So that was the first method. The second is observation. So as we know the meaning of observation, just constantly look upon someone who is performing the job. So the job analyst, the one who has a task to collect the data, what he is going to do, he simply stand or sits beside the one who is performing the job, try to observe them, and if possible, record the different aspects of the one who is performing that job. So before that, job analyst is going to get all first-hand information about what could be the working condition, like in which condition people are working, plus what sort of different major as well as minor activities are being performed by them, how much time is required, that it is going to be finished in 15 minutes or it will take minimum 1.5 hours in order to complete that particular job or a part of that job. Then they'll start observation. Now this is very important method and like very useful method, because you are getting first hand information. Being a job analyst, you very much aware in advance and you have an idea. So what you can do, you simply observe them. You can get the data from them by observing them, that how they are performing. And if certain jobs are manually, which means the person who is performing that job, he or she is going to apply their capacity. So that's why in short duration, you as a job analyst can sit nearby and try to observe, try to jot it down in your book or whichever device available with you. So that's how by observation you can get idea about that job. But this job is again not possible to observe people where high level of intellectual are available. Similarly, decision makers like CEO, CFO, or for any government job, let's say collector or chief minister, this kind of people are supposed to be a great decision maker, and they have to take complex decisions in no time. No time means they have to take in minutes. Sometimes they have to take in seconds. So for them, a great level of intellectual require. Now, if you keep on observing them, you cannot get anything so detailed wherein you can utilize or you can analyze. So where high level of intellectual comes in place, observation method will not get you much idea. Next method, interesting one, critical incident method. कुछ ऐसा जो याद रह जाए. Now it could be positive, it could be negative, both. So critical incident, we are not saying normal incident. Like if your father is going to a job, every day morning he is going and evening he is returning. So you know it's normal, he's going and he'll come back. But one day he came and he burst out of joy that today it's been decided that I'll be getting promotion. Now this is critical. This is eventually very much happy moment. Critical in a positive sense. So same goes in an organization. Any significant incident which has been taken place in job environment and where employee has to respond. But when in case of job analysis, generally we try to figure out critical incidents which is being happen in normal course of business, but employee has to respond. So critical information, like if you consider in case of a doctor, like they are approaching many patients during OPD, that's normal. But during night duty, when they are available in hospital, any emergency came pertaining to a pregnant lady or a small kid fell down from a stair, or a particular individual met with an accident and blood is not being stopped. Now being a doctor, how fast you are trying to respond to that situation, how diligently you try to solve them out, that's called critical incident. And on that day or on that night, if that doctor succeed to manage that patient and his or her critical situation, the doctor will never forget that incident, right? So similarly, certain incident always being taken place in every individual's working life. So those critical incident will be known by job analyst from those people who would be part of that critical incident. So they are going to share, and based upon the questions being asked and based upon the information, job analysts are going to analyze those critical incident, and they try to focus so much upon how and what kind of response the incumbent has made on that day, on that occasion. So that's how they can get an idea about critical situation and the handling of that situation by individuals. Only one disadvantage, that many a times people will explain that this was a scene and how I have reacted. But sometimes you couldn't club that as part of job description. That is the disadvantage. Interview method, very common. Like you might have an idea that, sir, interview is there when someone is going to get hired to get a job. We have been interviewed by someone. Exactly right. True. That's there. When you want a job, you have to pass or you have to clear an interview. But here the interview is of different mode. Job analysts are going to interview people such as team leader, the worker or the job incumbent, in order to get detailed information about a particular job. That's called different aspect, different dimensions of a job. The questions would be realistic and up to the mark with respect to that job. That questions are not complicated. Just like it happens with recruitment when you have difficult questions. Here, there is no attempt to check your intelligence. They just want to get an idea about a particular job. So questions would be crystal clear, non-complicated questions. In straightforward manner, it has been asked to the job incumbents कि आप ये काम करते हो, ये काम आप कैसे करते हो, काम में क्या मुश्किलियां है और आप इसको कैसे आसान बना सकते हो, और someone else on your behalf is going to perform this, then how he or she can make it easy. Such kind of direct point-to-point questions to be asked to the job incumbents as well as the supervisors who are going to be part of that job. So they will try to get some doubts as well. They try to get that, is there any dilemma when you are performing the job? Do you have any issues while performing this job? As well as what could be the probable solution, that how it could be sought out. So the existing batch of people might have a problem, but in future, the next batch, the people who would join organization in future, they should not have the same problem. Now, please understand, as usual, interview method comes first, because here there would be a direct dialogue between two parties, one who would like to know and the other one who has an idea. So both the side there would be a conversation. If job incumbents, people, those who are actually working on that job, are able to convey or able to clarify the components, the facts about that job, then job analysis would become very easy. Diary maintenance method. Now that considered to be the gone are the days, but yes, for quite long time that was a trend, and probably it's now also in trend, but now the diary has been replaced by e-diary, electronic version of diary. So what happened in the beginning, straight after Industrial Revolution, when people have started serving into different establishment, any worker or any employee, whosoever is going to join any organization, one diary has been given to them. What's the purpose? They have to jot down whatever things they are going to do in that daily routine as and when they join an organization from that day onwards. The moment they join, the moment they come to the office, till the time they remain in the office, they have to put down all the relevant information in that diary. So that's where they have to complete, and it has been told very clearly that at the end of a week, individual, which means employee or worker, has to report the supervisor or the team leader or the manager with that diary, manager or supervisor or any head has to check the diary and has to undersign. This should be a regular activity for each and every individual, irrespective of that position. So that's what, during a course of time, whatever work you are going to do, the things which you are going to perform, everything has been mentioned in your diary. Sometimes if you are not available, someone can go through your diary, or he or she can have well idea about what you were doing since long. So the advantage, like continuously we can get an idea about a particular job. What disadvantage? That mostly if nothing very abnormal or special or critical happened, mostly you'll have the monotonous same sort of information to be relished among various pages of the diaries. Like 8:30 I reported, 6:30 I left. I worked on machine 2. We were producing the material called XYZ, wherein we have utilized raw material ABC. I was part of this team and I have 4 members to assist me. I was working from this morning to afternoon on this machine. Later on, I was repairing on that machine. So that's what the kind of monotonous activities have been mentioned. If anything special has not been mentioned, and for which you have to go through all different pages in detail of that diary. So it's time consuming, but yes, carefully, if job analyst is going through that diary, then they will have an idea about a particular segment of that job, and it would be helpful in your job analysis. Technical conference, one more interesting one. So when we talk about technical conference, it's about conference. As you get an idea, conference is nothing but a gathering of similar minded people. So just like we have a meeting, we have a discussion between our own team members in a company's auditorium or conference hall. Technical conference is something related to a particular industry or related to a particular job profile. People, those who possess a similar kind of job profile, will gather at one particular place and they are going to discuss various contemporary as well as futuristic aspects pertaining to that job. Let's say there would be a conference of IT engineers. So what they are going to discuss? I'm sure they are going to discuss one core topic, AI, artificial intelligence, that how we can manage, how we can control, and how we can make it more powerful. So similarly, for different companies, there would be different jobs, and for different job profile, there could be a different conferences available, wherein people, those who are working for that job, as well as people, those who are supervising the others who are performing the job, which would be available over there, they'll try to discuss various tasks associated with those jobs. Now, they will discuss that what could be the part of that job and what could not be, what could be in and what could not be in. So they are going to discuss JD as well as JS. That is nothing but job description as well as job specification associated with that job. Advantage, the greatest advantage, you will get a viewpoint from different sharp minded people, which is simply impossible for any single organization to have a great ample amount of viewpoint on a particular specific job. That's only possible through this method, technical conference method. That's the unique advantage associated with this job. The disadvantage is always there. It's time consuming. And second thing, as we all are aware, when all great minds are there, it's difficult to get united or to get a consensus over some similar point. Because everyone feels that yes, I know better about this job, but at the same point of time, they might feel or they might perceive different opinions from one another. And that's how it is very difficult that during any technical conference, you can have similar views and not the conflicting ones. So this one was technical conference method. And plus one more thing, like, which is not mentioned here, but the onus would always be on one party, that who is going to organize this. It's easy to invite people and it's easy to make them available in order to discuss, but how you are going to bear all these expenses and how you are putting up your efforts in this fierce competitive era in order to manage all this stuff, that's difficult. Now, these were the different methods to collect the data. Now, when we collect the data and when we will get an idea about a job analysis process towards the completion of process, what you are going to get, that's two things. As I told you earlier, the end result of the process is JD and JS. Why I'm telling you JD and JS? The first one, that job description. As I told you in the earlier session, job description and job specification are two major outcomes of job analysis, and JD is related to a job. So when we say job description, these are the things which would be part of a job, which means in a job, these are the things which could be there, particular job. Like first job title, let's say police sub inspector, that's job title. Now duties and responsibilities, now to maintain peace and order, law and order in a particular area which belongs to his duty police station. So there would be duties and responsibilities. Now he has to report to his superior, PI. So that's where different duties and job responsibilities associated with them. Then working condition. Again, police job could have different shifts, night shift, day shift, or sometimes during emergency hours, you have to be on spot, or any particular political, local or people event are there, you have to be there. So no defined working conditions. You have to ready yourself in any difficult conditions. Then job relationships. You are a public servant. Being a policeman, you have to get involved yourself in all people stuff. You cannot deny, you cannot segregate yourself that my duty hours are over, I cannot help you out. If you find anything wrong is happening, you have to indulge yourself. You have to support people. You cannot say no. So that is how your job is related with other people, other aspect. Performance standards. The task has been given by your superior, you have to accomplish. You have to maintain law and order condition. You have to make sure that negativities, the wrong stuff should get decreased. Similarly, a particular person called sales manager working in an organization. So he has been associated with a target of annual certain rupees turnover or certain number of units he or she has to sell. That would be performance standards. An ultimate job summary, that what actually a job entails. What are the roles and responsibilities? What you are going to do part of a job? What could be the major task associated with that job? What could be the summary? So this everything is majorly about job specification pertaining to a job. That job specification which we are going to discuss next. This is what we have discussed, job description. Each and everything pertaining to a job only. Now the another part, that's called job specification. Now, as I told you, job specification is all about job incumbent, the one who is going to perform, like an individual who is going to perform. So job specification is like when you ask a question that this is a job is called data analyst. Now, what kind of person can perform this job? Then the answer would be this job specification. Number one, what could be the education and training level of that individual? You say he must have a master's degree with IT, or he should have at least 3 years of experience in any organization. This is the answer. Then you say, what about physical strength? In case of data analyst, you won't ask this. You'll ask, what about intellectual strength? What about his logical ability? Pertaining to a job, there would be a physical strength or there would be a mental strength. So that's strength would be check out. Then stress coping ability. Nowadays, every job has its own type of stress. So how much stress one can manage? Like a doctor has a stress, an IT person has a stress, a customer care executive has a stress, because they have different jobs, but they all will have their level of stress. So how much stress would be managed by that individual? Then any special needs, like you say, sir, we need a person who is having Microsoft certification in data analytics. If he has been certified by IBM, then only we can hire. So that's what special needs. Not all jobs does this, but in certain jobs it does require. Like in academics, you consider if you want to work with colleges and universities, you should have PhD, that will be helpful to you. But if you have to work in schools, if you have master's degree, that is fine. So that's what special needs. Skills and competencies. Like for computer operator, you require a fast processing speed, that writing stuff. For a stenographer, right, fast typing speed. So that's a skill. For any pilot, the great eyesight, that's a skill. For any particular driver, a great amount of judgmental ability. For any manager, great decision making. These are the skills. Work experience. Not all jobs require, but yes, when the job is pertaining to middle level or the job is pertaining to higher level, then we are going to discuss work experience. Suppose you require a manager, then you must write down that minimum 10 years of experience required. But when you want to hire someone as a trainee or as an executive, you will write, or you must have seen, that any fresher may apply, which means no work ex is required. So basically, job specification is all about what kind of individual company is expecting for a job. Job description, which we have seen. Job specification is all about an individual, like whether he possesses a diploma or a degree, whether he has that particular skill. Like take your example, when you get this degree BBA, so there are certain jobs where companies are expecting that only BBA graduates. They don't want graduates from other discipline, but if a person has done BBA as a undergraduate, then he would be having that priority. Then physical or mental strength, as I told you, work ex if it is being required, what level of stress handling capacity you possess, extraordinary needs if there is there, or specific skills and competencies. So this all things would be mentioned as part of advertisement. So like I am giving you one small hint, like if you check any advertisement, so you will get an idea about both JD as well as JS in that advertisement, where what could be the part of job will be written as JD and what could be the expectation from an individual, that has been mentioned in JS. So generally, when job incumbents try to read an advertisement, they focus upon JS, whether they are able to fulfill or not. Last but not the least, what are the challenges affect job analysis? The first one, employees' anxiety. This is something we cannot control. Over a period of time, employee has to manage. Second, how is the attitude of a superior towards job analysis? Suppose being a manager, I love my job, but I am not that much interested to analyze others' job, wherein my input won't be there, so it would be difficult. Third, what about job holders? If so much importance would be given, more than required importance has been given to job holders, it could be possible they might misguide us. Sometimes, not always. Environmental influence, like people are working in an environment where despite they are interested, but they are unable to provide us better idea, or due to that environmental constraint we are unable to understand, then also that will create trouble for us. And last but not the least, no follow-up action. Once we try to get the information, they didn't respond, again second time or third time we fail to approach. So what happened? We are not going to have a proper information. So this is considered to be certain significant challenges in collecting data, and as a result we couldn't analyze the particular job. So students, by this we have completed the second segment of job analysis, like wherein we discuss various methods how to collect data related to a given job, and followed by the two major outcomes of job analysis, that is job description and job specification, which would be a significant part of any advertisement, which you can see and check. And the last and the final one, what are the challenges available before performing proper job analysis? So here we are summing up with our topic called job analysis. I hope you got the idea about a certain topic of job analysis. In our upcoming session, we are going to discuss the correlated topic to job analysis, that's job design. So dear students, I'll see you in the next session of job design. Till the time, have a great day, great learning. Thank you so much.
स्वाध्यायः